All right, welcome back, Cynics, to episode 21 of the Two Cynics podcast. Andrew, I have to say, to start out this session, really weird behavior by you. We bumped up our start time by 15 minutes, which I agreed to based on your proposal. And then you replied, "Cool, see you then," to me. What was that? We've never spoken in email lingo, corporate lingo to each other ever. He's like, "Cool, see you then." I'm like, there's no way he's excited to see me then. Like, what was that?
I'm so destroyed by the corporate world that's how I speak to everyone, to my mother, to my wife, everyone in my family. It's just all transactional now.
Let's circle back and FaceTime in 2 hours after this.
It's bad. I can't turn it off when I get home. I continue on in this broken human mode.
Speaking of broken humans, what you just you were telling me offline that you melted your balls before we started this spot. Are we playing? Are you questionable? Are you doubtful right now? What's your status? You got injured on the fourth play like A-Rod last night?
We've spoken about Paul Saladino several times on this show. He would be appalled by keeping your laptop on your waist. You need multiple layers of protection.
Pillows.
I agree. It has to be so bad for you.
Is there real data on it? Now we're going to go down the conspiracy route, but I don't. It's like, did your parents ever yell at you to not sleep with your phone on the nightstand right by your head? You ever heard that one before?
No.
Or the AirPods? No, yeah, AirPods because of the magnetic or whatever.
EMFs. Yeah.
Yeah. Electromagnetic.
This laptop on lap caused cancer. Current scientific evidence indicates there's no link between using a portable laptop. That's stupid. Is it harmful to put laptop on your lap? I don't know. I think big tech is censoring this anyway. It doesn't matter. We can't. But also, we got to go on DuckDuckGo to type it in.
That's about advertising. That's about stealing your data, not about blocking information.
Oh, okay.
I think
go on
go. The guy saw one fucking commercial. And he's like, "Oh, I am an expert. DuckDuckGo." I know somebody who's used it before, and he was like, "Yeah, you should use DuckDuckGo." I'm like, I would literally rather not browse the internet than not use Chrome or Safari.
When I was researching vaccine safety, I wanted to see if there was anything being censored, and when we were trying to decide whether to vaccinate the baby, and I was like, all right, let me try DuckDuckGo, and the results were the same.
The exact same.
The interface was just worse. It's like Bing. It's the same thing. Like
Bing's gotten better. Bing's gotten better.
Remember when Yahoo was a search engine?
Yahoo used to be the shit back in the day.
It was king.
Maybe not it was definitely on an equal footing with Google at some point when we were I don't know, early middle school.
Before Google took over, when we were first looking at computers in the early 2000s.
Yeah, just a bunch of guys talking tech on the day of the Apple event that took place today. I didn't watch it.
What was it? I saw that stupid post with their dumb-looking Apple logo. What was that? It was wavy and curvy.
Was that a wallpaper font? What are we talking about here?
My phone needs to update tonight, I think. I don't know. What is doing? Does anyone care?
Well, this is their annual event. So it's the Apple iOS 17 release, and then iPhone 15 Pro Max, etc., coming out. It's usually they do it a week after the event.
People really today wait for a new phone and go get it right away. I see no difference from phone to phone. None.
Well, there's definitely a big corner of the internet that's making a lot of jokes the way you are, where it's that meme of that old guy with the gray hair who's in a red striped collared shirt, and then he's holding up another one that's exactly the same, that's folded, that was just bought. Verbal meme, as PFT commenter likes to say. Anyway, the joke is yes, everything's the exact same. They charge you an extra, you know, another $1,000 to upgrade, and it's the exact same features. It's just like tiny bit slicker and lighter. And they claim it's a better battery, even though all they do is just fuck the battery on your old phone. Like, I'm totally with that. Again, this is exactly what we've talked about. They own us. They own us.
What
I
are we
have
gonna
to get a new
do?
one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna. This isn't RCN and Spectrum. I'm not switching to an Android. I will not ever do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
and they'll do the same thing. That people that have you noticed that you'll never meet like when someone has an Android. Like I can like look at a person and be like, you might be an Android user. Not like
Profiling.
definitive, but like
Potential.
yeah,
Prospect. Yeah.
exactly. But you'll never see like a normal person that you'll then be surprised as an Android. But like you can point out like your boy from your last job, I could see him being
Hmm.
an Android guy. I maybe he wasn't, but he's a potential guy, right? Let me think of some mutual.
Use fake names, but real
Yeah, I got like
connections.
Kolia. Like I got it. I got it. Okay, let me think.
I mean, whose texts were green? Well, that's the easy giveaway.
That's it.
But
That's like I don't remember whose texts were green, but um I can see Chrisman having been an Android guy.
yeah,
Um
loser. Why you said his last name? Why'd you say his last name?
who cares?
Yeah,
So the
seriously.
so the Belgian guys are gonna be like, who's Griezmann? Um, mutual acquaintances.
This is
Uh,
such bad podcasting. What are
so
we
bad. No one's
doing?
listening. It's bad clips too. Anyway, we'll move on.
Bad clips, bad pod.
We get the idea that we can't clip this. Those 30 seconds of dead air.
The point is they own us, and my battery life on my phone after 2 years is terrible. I was that idiot 2 years ago that stood in line on the day of the release to get the new one. And of course, this is not a conspiracy. I will defend this. There's always glitches and defects in the early ones that get rushed, that come out of the factory the quickest. This one has been overheating since day one. I already replaced one. So like I did all the nonsense already. Point
I
is
would have
I'm gonna
never
wait.
noticed.
You would have never noticed overheating. I'm telling you, the first one that I got was heating up in my hand. Heating up. Or pretend you're multitasking, maybe listening to music. Yeah, one task, two tasks. You're listening to music, browsing, sending videos, looking at pictures. It gets hot. So I need to get the new 15 Pro, $1,000 out the door.
I love your response to Kevin Porter Jr. Why did you think I was going to come on here and defend him?
It's not even about that. It's more of just like I get and this is a look under the hood for the 30 cynics that are listening.
30?
If that,
That's
maybe
a
six. We have 30 unique identifiers. Let's put it that way in our CRM system. I just like what is uplifting or funny or like entertaining about having that conversation. Like we're gonna argue about
I
a
wanted to write it in there to see if you thought I was gonna come on here and be like, we need all the facts.
I was like, I gotta let him cook, but like, there's nothing like, what is fun about talking about a guy allegedly assaulting his girlfriend? Like,
we were waiting for all the information to come out before making any judgments, and the guy
you should have
pummeled her. What's wrong with him?
Was there a video?
No, but he broke her neck. She has like a broken vertebrae in her neck.
I thought I had a feeling based on our Spanish soccer coach conversation, I thought it was a 50-50 between Kevin Porter Jr. and Mel Tucker that one of those was going to show up in the rundown.
Mel Tucker, this came out in. Can I help?
Oh boy.
Pretend we not here. You can just walk in. This is the studio. We're cooking. What did Mel Tucker do?
he apparently sexually harassed a woman who came to the university to speak about sexual harassment and assault. Um, and then she claims,
And a
or
fucking laughed from the bathroom.
and I didn't hear that, but that's excellent. He claims that it was mutual, but they are.
Harassment. She harassed him. He harassed her.
I can't remember. I wanted to draw a parallel to a story that was similar, where the guy was saying that it was mutual, but I can't remember which one. But anyway, yeah, Mel Tucker, a former Bears defensive coordinator, shout out. Um, won't be coaching Michigan State after getting that contract. I don't know. Anyway,
But he
how do
got
we
his
get?
bag, right?
Well, I don't know what happens now. Can they fire him with cause and get all that money back? I don't. These college coaching the contracts are so slimy.
They just
Whether
paid
it's
him
the
like
athletic
these
departments, like
absurd amounts.
yeah, like at Orgeron, there were some things flying around when he left LSU, and I think he's fine now. He obviously didn't get canceled or anything, but he didn't just leave because they were playing bad. If you catch my drift, there was something that was, and
It's
he took a massive
gross.
like $18
He's
million buy.
disgusting.
We want some gumbo. We want some gumbo, Andrew.
So
Come down to the bayou.
gross. Those pictures of him like on the beach, just all red and sweaty and
Bad.
thick.
Speaking of Ed Orgeron, what are your thoughts? Week 1, week 2, week 0, college football in the books. Big weekend for Texas, taking out
I actually did watch some
taking out
college football.
Bama. I mean, that was the marquee game of the week. You were unhappy with the production. Tell me about that.
The word production when I texted you was it was wrong, but like I don't know.
What's the correct
They
word?
just don't know how to play. Like it's there's like three talented guys out there, and I guess it's kind of fun to watch. Like when they beat each last year, the college football playoff semifinal game was fun. What was it? Ohio State. Uh,
Georgia, New
that
Year's
was
Eve.
fun. Like they were
That was
athletes.
close
Like
to NFL level, like
yeah, like
more or
there were like
less. Yeah.
7 or 8 NFL caliber players on the field.
Big
Like,
plays, high scoring, and it wasn't like dumb, you know?
have you ever seen a go route where the wide receiver is not like 10 yards ahead of the corner?
Right. Right.
Nobody is good that plays corner
Everything
in
was
college football. They
everything
just
was professional until the kicker missed it like 50 miles to the left at the strike of New
he hit
Year's Day.
a snap hook kick. That's if I lined up for that field goal, this is gonna be the exact same outcome. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. I hate the band music in the background. It's just triggering to me. I hate the like what's it called? Like the war chants that the schools do.
The war
You
chants.
know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah, the
the
fight song. The
fight
fight song.
song war chants. This is the same. Yeah, the fight song. I hate the fight songs. I hate the degenerates in the stands more than anything.
The
The
students
section that's just like packed with brain dead people.
painted, guys got no shirts.
They're all just hammered and disgusting. You could smell the malt liquor on their breath. They're gross.
This is
I
gonna be
don't.
so unpopular.
I can't like. I'm trying to. Football's football, so like I'm happy to watch it. Now I'm like forcing myself to get into it, but I don't understand the people that prefer college football. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just I'm salty. I don't like the college football game day shows. I don't like anything about college football. It's just not this. It's just not the NFL, and that's because you and I grew up without a team.
There it
Like
is.
we just maybe we wouldn't like the NFL if we were from North Dakota and we didn't have a team, but like the NFL makes me warm. Like all I could think about Sunday morning was ba bum. Like it just when I hear that, I'm like, yes. When I hear Chris Collinsworth or Al Michaels or even like Tarico or Kurt Menefee gets me more than it for because the Bears are always on Fox. When I hear Kurt Menefee, it's like the halftime show. It's like I'm just so happy.
This is where I belong. Yeah.
That college football just doesn't. I don't know. I don't like the commentating either. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like any of it. And I don't know who any of these guys are.
I find all roads keep leading back to the creepy men on Twitter talking about women's athletes, but I just find these people like a John Rothstein, and I know we're talking about college basketball now, but who are obsessed with like watching videos of like 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, ranking them, and then trying to figure out like if they're going to go to their alma mater or something. It's just so weird. And then I think a big part of it is because of how we grew up. Like we didn't grow up, our parents did not go to college in this country,
There
right?
was no
So
fandom,
there
no
was no
strong
affiliation.
allegiances. Yeah.
It was just like, at best I would try to like root for the college teams that were in our state,
I
Illinois,
tried to like
Northwestern.
Northwestern.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
tried to like their football program.
Out the window now for sure. But um I was the same with you. And then obviously it didn't help that the first school that we went to was a clown show of an athletic program, and then that we were prominently involved with. And then the second one was you were beyond disgruntled with the whole academic process. And I tried with basketball. I'm into it, but
Got
but
him.
we suck. That's gonna get bleeped out. Yeah, I'm cynics. I root for a Big East basketball program that sucks. So there you
I
go.
watch IU basketball or IU football when it's on, but I don't care. I try to care, but I don't care. If they were competitive in the tournament, it'd be basketball more than IU football because there's a history to the program. Like
Right, it's a blue blood.
I've actually been to an IU football game too, but my dad and I
You
went
weren't
and
tailgating at 9 a.m.
see like it would be so fun to tailgate like if me you and Hannah or if you had we'd have a lot of fun like if we had a truck and a grill and beers. I'd love to
That's
tailgate
all we
like
need, right? A
it's
couple
great. That
people
sounds
and yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
But like to just go and get like when people
blasted.
go to a place with the purpose of getting obliterated, like I would still want to go and enjoy this football game. Be mildly drunk, be kind of drunk. But like these people, they don't care if there's a football game or if there's like a Coliseum war. Like the people don't that was such a not funny analogy. People don't care what they're going. They just want to get drunk, and it's disgusting.
I was like, is he talking about the LA Coliseum? Is this like a USC joke or
I was,
something?
I. Do you know like when you're
You're saying
trying
it's
to
barbaric, basically. Like they don't care what they're watching, right?
exactly just people like and if Hannah came with me to if like we all went and we were going to a Bears game, Hannah wouldn't care about the game, but like she's there for the vibes that we're giving off, and she wouldn't know what she's looking at if she's watching a football game. Like she wouldn't know what she's looking at. She'd have fun off the vibes, but she's not going to be there just to like get drunk.
Just to see a bunch of orange or red.
By the way, we're I brought out my Jay Cutler jersey on Sunday morning, and Hannah hates when I wear jerseys, and I get it. Like I understand, but I was like, I was gonna wear it. We were going on a walk in the morning. I
I
was
thought
gonna
you were
wear
gonna
it.
say she hates Cutler because she watches very Cavallari. But anyway, keep going.
Not much for Cavalier. Um, she she hates me in jerseys, and the problem is I look awful in red too. Like I just look like red makes you if you're a grown man wearing red, you automatically look like a child. I think
BMW Championship. Ferrari.
it's different in a polo, and it's different because you're skinny. Like
So
if
we can't.
I wore red, I would just look like I have
But your
issues.
Cutler jersey isn't red.
I know, but like it's got orange stripes on the arms. It just so anyway, I'm about to wear it, and and I'm like, I jokingly put it on to wear it, and I knew I was gonna take it off before the walk. It would have been hot anyway. And then we see a guy walking in a Dak Prescott jersey, but it's just like white and a little bit of navy blue. Very simple. I think Chicago sports have awful Blackhawks are different because Blackhawks sweater is amazing because
Yes.
it's
It's the
really
logo.
cool.
It's the logo.
It's
Yeah.
cool. Like
It's the
it's very
logo and
unique and
the
it's
yeah.
cool. And you're never gonna wear the sweater like casually. Like I'm
Only
not
to
gonna
a
walk.
game. That's it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna walk down the street in a Blackhawks thing. Like it's crazy. But like the Bulls, red, Bears, orange is such a dumb color. Orange and blue, and my color jersey is predominantly white. And the Cubs are okay
It's
because
because
you
of
can
the
wear
team's history. Yeah.
and you can wear like a shirt. You can wear like a baseball, just a shirt without wearing a jersey. You can
Yeah.
wear like a jersey shirt and you look semi normal.
Just
But
like soccer too. But like if you're
exactly,
committing to a football, it just looks silly on you.
look stupid. You can't casually wear it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how we got there.
We were talking about Hannah. I'll pick it up from here. What I'll say is I was thinking the exact same thing you were of like, right, the Texas Alabama game was in Alabama. Obviously the fans were like probably not too pleased that they lost and it was kind of over in the middle of the fourth quarter.
Off their
But
mind.
I can guarantee you that at least the kids, right, parents, alumni, the losers who live, I don't know about losers, but the people who live in Tuscaloosa and all they live for is Bama
That's
football.
harsh.
Yeah, all they live for is Bama football. Like that's a shitty night for them. Their season's over basically now. But the students, they're like, I bet you they're leaving with like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, being like, "Oh, like let's get to the frat house ASAP. Let's start crushing beers. Like, what are we doing tonight?" Like that's because I've had that mentality. Like that's where your head's at. That's where your head's at. It's not about result is secondary to the atmosphere and the fun.
Before we go on, did you did you know I was a sideline trainer for football?
Yeah, I accompanied you to one of the games. I think it was pouring rain.
Were you in the stands?
No, I wasn't in the
I think
stands.
you picked me up.
I
I was
fucking
so
user.
cold.
Cold. It was like a late October, cold,
Oh, that was
raining.
death. That was rock bottom when I was the best. Okay, maybe not the best, but I was, you know what? That's not true. I was the best, like relative to my sport athlete on that field. Okay. And yet I'm like putting band-aids on these football players and giving them water. That was the worst. My job was to fill the coolers with ice and spray water through their helmets.
You were that guy. Wait, why did you sign up for this? This one you thought this was going to be good on your resume for med school? Well,
No,
why did you sign up for this?
this was my career pivot when I was failing. Yeah, it was still med school, but like I was it was like a what did they call it? Athletic trainer like class.
You
And
were taking that class. Oh,
I
and
was taking
you
that
had
class,
to
and
go to
that
a
class
certain
had
number of, yeah.
it had valuable things, but then yeah, you had to work like a certain number of events. So I had to work like girls' basketball games, and the worst was working like the football, like the girls' basketball. Like we all knew the product was I could have gone out there, been the leading scorer.
Product.
I'm not kidding. I'm sitting on the bench thinking like, if you put me in right now, I'd score 25. Like they were so slow and so bad. Playing at Veal with no one in the stands. It's horrendous. But the football games, like it was still college football, and
Right.
like these guys still thought of themselves as athletes, and it was awful. Giving them water, they'd run over to me like, "Hey man, water," and kill me. I'm failing out of school. I'm depressed. I'm getting so fat, and I'm the athletic trainer intern. I taped one guy's ankle once, and I thought I was like, that was like
And
the
I'm gonna
big.
make my best friend pick me up and drive me back to my dorm.
It was. I mean, and I stood there just getting rained on the whole time, and it was across campus. I was planning on walking. I think I, out of desperation, I'm like, can you please
I
help?
pull up in the alley between house 6 and house 7.
That was my lowest. It was dark at like 5:45. It was I still had like 2 months left there. I don't think I'd officially quit yet. It was awful.
Anxiety was high, yeah.
It was awful. Oh my god. I can't, like, I think I repressed that because I didn't remember that until 15 minutes
The
ago.
wound just was open basically.
I just can picture myself carrying that little thing with the 6 Gatorade bottles in it everywhere. I had my little poncho. How I think it's humiliating when those guys do it to NFL players. Like when you're
For the staff, yeah.
chugging onto the field and going. So imagine doing that for D3 awful football players. I actually was friends with
Not
one of
getting
the
paid.
guys, the
Yeah.
backup, the wide receiver. God, what was his name? You met him. He lived in your
Remember
room.
his name.
Yeah, the Giuseppe. His name was
Giuseppe?
Giuseppe Orsini.
Ah,
I liked him a lot. He and his roommate. They lived in your room in Sherman, in
yeah.
the corner room. His roommate.
214.
His roommate was Rob Kuda. He was the quarterback.
She's from Chicago. His his brother was my year. His brother was my year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they were both really nice guys. They were the only normal guys on the floor because they also like had a sort of commitment to something. Everybody else was just like unhinged losers that finally got to college and were just
Their
trying to.
pinnacle was that dorm, basically.
Yeah, but like those guys were athletes and they were focused and like, you know, just decent human beings. Yeah, I liked Giuseppe. Rob was quiet. God, imagine Giuseppe somehow gets
Getting a
wind
hold
of
of this podcast. Actually, that might be the best marketing we could have because he would like send the video to his squad, to his like 5 to 6 buddies, and they would like laugh
Then,
at our
then
recollection of our school.
this then gets to like Willie D, and then again,
The alumni group chat.
we would get eviscerated in
Oh,
that group chat.
these fucking guys.
Whatever. I would venture to think we've probably done the best post college life out of most
Okay,
people in that group.
I don't know about that, but
You don't think
I
so? In relative to our age.
I don't know what those other people are doing. I'm at a point where I just don't care.
Good
Like
for you. I do.
I'm
I'm an
doing my
awful
own
person.
I'm doing my own thing. I mean, I don't. It's not like I don't care at all. I care about some people, but those guys are in the rearview mirror. I don't
I
spend
mean,
any time thinking about them.
someone's making content on there too.
Oh yeah, yeah, crashing. How do you? It's fucking This fucking idiot. I would reenact what he was doing, but I'm in Druski right now, so I can't do that. I just came back from a run. It was sweating. That's why I'm wearing a BMW Championship polo. Shout out Medina. The way he like would stick his ass out in tennis on volleys, and then see that transfer to the kitchen in pickleball when like that is the technique because you can't like go in there. It was just so perfect. And then of course the most unathletic, even though it was her fault, the most unathletic crash into his doubles partner, and then her being like, "Dude," like blaming it on him, like. Oh, hated that I had to defend him and be like, "Oh, it's his ball."
There's
And they're playing in Cincinnati at like the tennis complex. Like, what the fuck?
We need to join a pickleball league. I'm if we
How?
lived if
Like
we lived
individually?
if we lived in the same region, we would
Region, Midwest, Middle States, heart of America.
when I played him, we did this drill. I don't remember like the exact details, but like I think it was no, I do. it was the first game starts at love all. The person who wins that game then starts down love 15. Then you win again, love
Yeah,
30, love
yeah,
40.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. You kept winning.
6-0. He just he
Wait, what
sat
happens
down,
after a few love 40s? Continues to be love 40?
continues at love 40 until you get to a set, or if you lose a game, it starts
Reshifts.
over.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe goes down one. It doesn't matter. We didn't find out. I was 6-0, and I realized like what was happening at like 3-0, that he was completely mentally just like
Broken.
disappearing, and like he was so sad. Like he didn't get angry or like fired up. He just got sad. So I was trying not to laugh at him because I really liked him. Like he and PG were my two friends on the team. Like they
Yeah.
were my best. We hung out every day. And I like didn't want to like he was gonna cry, and I beat him 6-0, and Todd was speechless. Like he didn't, and he was good. Like he wasn't bad at singles, and I wasn't that good, but like I like once he started with Paplil, you know, and he just sat like against the tarp, against the fence for like
Head
30
in his
minutes
hands. Yeah.
and just sad, and like he just didn't want to go anywhere after. He just dripping sweat. Do you remember how sweaty he was?
He was a pool. It's funny you bring that up because that struck a nerve with me because one of my probably lowest moments was my sophomore year when I had was in the process of exiting and was looking to transfer slash quit slash whatever, and by this point I had long said goodbye to the singles lineup and was barely hanging on for dear life to three doubles.
Did you guys play three?
And
You and JB played
yeah,
three. What was the lineup?
no, no, no.
CJ,
Me and Tony played three
really?
my
Oh,
sophomore
it was your
year.
freshman year.
Because
Yeah.
remember, JB betrayed the family and decided to go play one with FD, which was a disaster.
Wait, they played one?
They played one, yeah, the
Were
whole
you
year.
guys awful?
Yeah, they went like 2-13 or something,
What was your final ranking?
like outside the top 15, like like
That's who played one singles? Jim?
Jim. Yeah,
What was the lineup? Who was two? Rob?
Sid, Sid, two,
Didn't he
Rob,
quit?
Rob three, um, four was at the Kincannon, and then Doogie five, Kevin six.
Doogie, lifer at 5. God, Doogie probably won matches though.
He did. No, he had the best season out of everyone by a mile.
Curiosness.
Anyway, we were in practice playing practice sets, team versus team, blue versus white or gray or whatever the
My
fuck it
freshman
was.
year was Warriors against Cavs.
Yeah.
So Dubs.
Um and I lost to him like 6-1 or 6-2 or something, and that was a low point. I was basically him in the way you described him against you, except it wasn't as bad because we started every game 0-0 instead of that bullshit. But I was so distraught. Nothing went in,
The
nothing
game
went
was
right.
gone. Like
It was I don't know if the game was gone. It was gone up here. The
yeah.
will the will to improve, compete.
It's crazy how much competing actually means. Like the levels were pretty. CJ wasn't that good. Like his strokes were. He was obviously one of the better players on the team, but he wasn't that good. He just
He just
competed
wanted it. He just
so
wanted it.
hard, and that is effective.
And when you have like other stuff going on, like when you're playing like junior tennis or high school tennis, like your life is I don't want to say I don't want to speak for everybody, like nobody's life is perfect, but like you have no worries, right? You're a kid. Your ability to play depends on how well your dad prepared you in the car on the way to the tournament, and whether or not your coaches give a shit. And unfortunately for us, we were 0 for 2 many a time in terms of those
My
ingredients. But
dad
when
and
you're
I played ping pong before matches.
as a warm up, and then you'd come out for the warm up, and you would fucking hit the first ball into the bottom of the net because you wouldn't be able to feel anything.
My dad would get mad. He's like, "Ну ты хорошо играл, когда мы дома были."
There's no logic to it. And they would do ping pong because they'd be too lazy to like worry about getting a court somewhere indoors or whatever. And it's like, oh, we warm
Like,
up simple.
sorry, dude, I beat you 21-4 tennis tournament. And like,
Uh,
if in ping pong I missed a few balls like long early on, he's like, давай, давай, сосредоточься.
yeah, I basically what I was trying to say is like when you're in college, like there's other shit going on, like classes, social drama, whatever. Like there's other stuff going on in the background besides tennis. So it's also like how well are you able to compartmentalize that stuff and just focus on tennis while you're there and not think about you're sleep deprived or you got a test tomorrow or your grades suck or whatever.
My grades just sucked, so it was whatever. I was more scared of Todd than anything else.
I love how we kept like some people anonymous, but like him and people we don't give a shit about, we just let her rip.
Giuseppe Orsini.
Okay, I don't care. Pico Armstrong already made a big catch, and I think we're up 2-0, I want to say.
Ah, nice. At least I was so fired up yesterday.
That was huge.
You know, talk about Druski.
Sure. I don't know what that is. Who's Druski?
Neither do I. Okay, do you look up Druski? Tell me you don't see this guy all over Bleacher Report all the time. Druski. I just want to know who he is and what he
Excuse
does
me.
and why he's such a big deal in like the sports circles. He's this obese guy who I have no idea like what his talent is.
I will say I've made a big push to eliminate Bleacher Report from my life. Besides, like
You
the
won't run away.
notification
Anytime Drewski's like anywhere, it's like, oh, Drewski pulled up to.
pulled up. I have to be
It's
honest.
always some nerd at Sports Center. Like,
I I have to be honest. I've never heard or seen this guy
you're gonna
ever.
see him
But
everywhere
here
now.
we go. Drew Desbord or Desbordes, known professionally as Druski, is an American comedian and actor. He
I've
is
never
known
seen
for
him
his
act or do stand-up comedy ever.
he, he is known for his sketch comedy Could Have Been Records and collaborating with various musicians in their music videos, including Jack Harlow, Can't Stand Him, Drake, whatever, Lil Yachty, and others.
I've
Born in
never seen
Columbia, Missouri,
any of
29
those
years
things.
old, went to Georgia Southern.
Never seen a single one of those things, but I've seen him in the crowd at every sporting event ever.
What kind of like are we talking like professional sporting events?
Yes, yes. Just type in Drewski on Twitter. Like you shouldn't be on Google, you old man. Type him in on Twitter, and you're gonna find. Also, is your Two Cynics Twitter feed all this one like diehard Novak fan?
Pavi G.
Yeah, him and this other guy Danny with like an alligator. All that they tweet is like anti Rafa and Fed stuff and like anti Andy Roddick stuff. Like Andy Roddick loves him now. He's so
Praises him like
that
crazy.
was
Yeah.
15 years ago. Their incident. They're like, it's this guy was like, it's karma that Roddick had to give him the trophy.
Give him the
Roddick was
trophy. Like,
happy to
what?
give him the trophy, dude. What are you talking about? That was forever ago. The guy's posting like Federer saying that Federer is a little salty, but where he's like, do you remember when Djokovic pulled out of the Australian Open like mid-match in the semis?
Yes.
Fed was saying like, oh, he's done this many times before, and I was like, dude, this was so long ago. Djokovic was like 19,
He's a completely different person.
completely so different than he used to be.
Yeah. I know that guy. To be honest, I'm not really scrolling like I have my own Twitter feed, so I'm not scrolling through our Two Cynics Twitter feed. Besides, like, did my post get any love earlier today?
How about yesterday? Worst post of all time.
The TikTok?
Yeah, I got zero.
All right, you got a all right, you made a Kaepernick joke. Did you mean to spell? Oh, Hapernick. Oh, I see. Oh, Jamal
Oh,
Hill. Classic.
3 comments for Nvidia.
What are they saying?
Ross Dillingham said, "Where did you hear these reports from?" He spelled "hear" wrong. Here. Colin Lynch responds, "LMAO. Why listen to them? They are on TikTok, dude." Why comment,
Us? What
dog?
the fuck?
Shut up, Colin. Ross Dillingham responds, "Yeah, that's what I'm getting at." Okay, guys. Thanks
I
for the.
think I think we had a Dumb and Dumber situation in the comments, which is nothing like building a community by just ripping your comment people to shreds.
All right, we gotta tag him when we gotta clip this and we gotta tag him. Ross Dillingham.
Guys, here the clip, also clip this part. Listen to the pod. I specifically cited the two sources where we talked about this information. All right. If you listen to the pod, you'll find these people. They're all on Twitter. Okay. Please. Thank you.
If you listen to the pod, you'll also
They're very
hear.
dishonest people.
You'll
They
hear.
won't show.
Are you being Trump? Because that's
Yeah.
really good.
Let's see here. I did a post about this guy in Italy in Lake Como was watching NFL Red Zone on his phone, and his wife did not look happy with him. And so I went, wife looks absolutely thrilled. 43 views. I don't even believe the views. No
Was my
comments
was my Kaepernick thing out of pocket? Am I crazy? Why was Jamel Hill talking about
because
Kaepernick?
she's still fighting the fight that she's been fighting for the last
Do you,
8 years.
do you really think she's oblivious enough to think that he's a legitimate option, or is she just being a social justice warrior?
It's the latter.
She can't
There's
think that
no
he's an he can't think that he only sent in his name for relevancy. He can't think that like anyone's gonna take this
he did the
seriously.
workouts. The teams watched the workouts. Like, and also like, not to switch topics, but Simona Halep, you leave the professional circuit for four times two in Kaepernick's case, 8 years he hasn't been around for, right? I think it was 2015 or 16, maybe 17 was when these allegations came, or allegations, when he was blackballed, as they call it. He hasn't played professionally in 7 years. He's not going to be good. I don't know if we want to transition to Simona, but I what's your
It's over.
take?
It's over. She's done. Like
She's not going to win the appeal.
I love her. She's like, my fight continues. No, it doesn't. You're just
I mean,
doing this because you can't actually give up. Like, because then it's admitting guilt.
well, ho, ho, ho. Before you say that, not that this person belongs in the same conversation with her because she won 2 slams, got number one in the world. There's a Swedish tennis player, Michael Emer, who got a 1 year suspension. He was a young guy,
I know.
underachieving, and he just quit. Yes, he just quit. He said, "I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm done."
You retire until coaching at the local country club isn't good enough, and he's going to
He
come back.
said he said he was going to prove his innocence, and then 24 hours later announced his retirement. I was like, nothing like proving your innocence by announcing your retirement. So
Michael, I thought it was Emer.
whatever the fuck, I don't care. I think it's
Emer.
Emer. He's not French. He's Swedish. Emer.
Come on.
What?
You think he's Swedish? I understand
He's Swedish.
I understand he's Swedish, but you know he's not Swedish, right?
Okay, but
He's
no,
Swedish. Like
are we
you're
counting the
from
generations?
America. Yes, his last name is Emer.
Okay, this is going nowhere. Simona, I don't understand. So you got a lot of people standing behind her, whether it's that idiot Moratoglu who coached her for like 3 months, jumping to her rescue, Cahill, who I like. I just don't understand. Like
Cahill's coaching Sinner.
Sinner, yeah. So she, I did some research on this, did my own research on this, uh, on
Cite your
the,
sources so that Colin Lynch doesn't come after you.
well, it was Wikipedia, Colin. I did research on the blood doping that she was accused of. I'm struggling to pronounce it. It's sorry, this is awful
She's
podcasting.
guilty.
Yeah, she's guilty. 4 year suspension, retroactive to the 1 year start. So she's got 3 additional years. Roxadustat or something it's called. I take pride in being a man of faith and understanding what these drugs are called, but I can't remember it off the top of my head, and we're not good enough podcasters to pull it up live.
He
So
100% is guilty. No one gets a
it's a
40
hold on. It's an anemia blocker. It's a blood doping, and enhances immune system
I'm sure
performance,
Djokovic
whatever.
is doing it, just has more resources to hide it.
The fact is, like, how she claims that it was a one night, 1 day thing that got caught and that she has a clean record, yada yada yada. It's like
Wait. She admitted to doing it?
she admitted to the fact that she basically acknowledged the positive test and
They
that
all
she
do that.
had
They
it
all
in
say
her
take
body.
the supplement and
No, but she's not saying that. She is saying that she had it at a low level and she doesn't know how it got there. And so my question is, I sound like such a philosophical lib podcaster when I say that. My question is, on NPR at 7:45 a.m. Eastern time, um, for your morning commute, my question is, I how this is the harshest punishment I've ever seen handed down. We've
what did
seen like
Kanye's get?
Kanye's got like a year or two, I think, maybe
What did
actually maybe
Sharapova
more,
get?
like 6 or 9 months. Chilich got 9 months for this glucose thing that he did. Um, Emer obviously got a year. Jensen Brooksby, our boy, is on like an indefinite suspension right now. he
Was he the one that got called out? Who was doing the racketeering
racketeering.
that never
Kanye's
come
got two
out?
years. Oh, like the betting,
Yes.
Well, we thought it was David Goffin for our
I thought it was
boy.
Del Potro.
No, Del Potro's dad like blew all his money away. Rest in prayers, he's dead, but his dad is. We literally like put all of his savings into shitty Argentina investments and lost all his money.
Kanye's I always thought was like the
The
greatest
gold
cheater in
standard,
tennis.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like straight up like he was I think he was taking like Deca. Like it was just like pure steroids, like with no strategy to it. Just like get jacked.
And then he came back and beat Federer 2 tournaments in a
So
row.
good. So
Just didn't
good.
miss a ball.
I remember
Hit
thinking, who is
backhand
this
winners.
guy? I didn't know who he was until he beat Federer. I was like, he's a cheater.
So I just don't like, how is it? Is it because of the type of drug that she's getting this 4 years? But like, it's like if you're getting a 4 year suspension, the biggest suspension that I've ever seen, me personally, how can you sit here like claiming your innocence? And all these people, like highly respected people in the tennis community to an extent, being like, yeah, we're with her. Like, what? Sharapova got 6 9 months. Everybody, I mean, she was a very polarizing figure, unlikable. People kicked her to the curb, whatever.
I think
And then
it's
you've
just
got
a classic like players union thing where there's like
except we love talking about backlash to the backlash, and people get wound up for no reason. Did you see what Serena tweeted today?
what was that was harsh. Why? I didn't know she
the
hated
eight
her.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, because she beat her in the Wimbledon final, the last Wimbledon final she played. So she's playing like the card of like, oh well, this girl beat me in the Wimbledon final, and I should have eight. I hate that. I hate it. And then you had Sheeny Bouchard, who also lost to her somewhere, maybe French Open final or some Wimbledon semifinal. I mean, if you're going to the pickleball league next year, you can't fucking tweet about
Can't
tennis.
talk.
You're done. You can't. You
So
can't do that.
stupid. I mean, I don't think it. I think it probably didn't make that big of a difference, honestly, in her tennis. Like, I don't think that's what made her be good. She should be. She should definitely get kicked off the tour if that's true. But that's so Serena to make this about herself. Give her 8 years. She's the reason I
You're not
relax,
understanding what
Serena.
I'm saying. She didn't say give her 8 years. What she said is she said 8 because Serena has 7 Wimbledons. The last Wimbledon that she played in the final, she lost to Halep. So she's saying she should have 8. It's even worse than what you originally thought.
That's so weak. God damn it! What?
Get
She just
over it.
get
You
over it.
lost. Like,
There is
even.
no way she has never had a needle in her ass either.
Okay. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why
You
we had
don't
to
think
go.
that Serena's ever done anything
Okay,
shady?
but I don't know. I don't know why we had to go needle in the ass. Visual. Um, I just why can't like let I'm gonna put myself in Serena's shoes. I lost that match. Like, is adding one more with an asterisk for the record books gonna make a difference? It's like Louisville got their national championship in March Madness when we were 2013 or 2012, vacated for Rick Pitino and the dorm room with the brother and the whatever went on in that dorm room. Is Michigan over here hanging up a banner? If they are, it's the biggest farce ever. Like,
Reggie Bush won the Heisman. The runner-up
exactly.
does not have the Heisman.
Okay, I will say Reggie Bush, that was bullshit. Like, he should have the Heisman.
So
That
stupid.
was
He
the
was so
NIL,
good.
like, so stupid. Or like, you won't know this, but since we dabble in UFC, I have to dabble in Formula One. Like, in 2008, the World Championship was extremely controversial. Lewis Hamilton's first championship. The guy who got second is suing today, 15 years later, for damages. He's not trying to reverse the outcome, but he's trying to make an argument that, like, oh, you guys stole millions of dollars in like name, image, and likeness from me, and like endorsements that I could have gotten if I became F1 World Championship. That he wants a payment from the governing body.
There's a good example, and we'll wrap on this because I have 5% on my laptop, but unprofessional. Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar at
Yeah.
UFC 200 fought this guy named Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt is this Samoan guy. They fought at UFC 200. It was like this huge event that fell out. John Jones tested positive, so they had to pull John Jones off the card. So they needed a replacement. Brock Lesnar was retired at this time. They called Brock Lesnar and said, hey, can you fight this guy, Mark Hunt? Brock Lesnar was like, yeah, sure. But Brock Lesnar was on all the steroids in the world because he was in the WWE. So they waived the steroid testing for Brock Lesnar, didn't tell Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt
Did he get his ass kicked?
Got annihilated by Brock Lesnar. Found out later that Brock tested positive after the fight and is now suing the UFC. That's different though.
I'm sympathetic to that. He got straight up fucked.
You physically messed up. Like, he's suing them for brain damages of his own. He's not asking for the result to be reversed. He's like, yeah, I got my ass kicked. He's, I think, Australian, but like, he deserves some kind of retribution. That's a little different.
Not retribution.
Whatever.
Damages, compensation.
Whatever. Dumb. All right, we got to call.
All right, should we wrap it on that, cynics? Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to episode 21.
We had
keep
Goffin mentioned, so
please keep shitting on us in the TikTok. You'll keep getting shout outs, and we'll send you, and we'll encourage you to listen to the pod on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. So thank you for joining, and we'll be back next week.